Okay, so I make about $11,000, $12,000 a month off of Airbnb, and we're about to blow this crap up and double that. But today, I'm going to show you how I look at the competitive landscape of Airbnbs, how I look at other listings in my market, and I will do kind of a takedown, don't do this, do this kind of thing. So let's just pick a market that's not mine, Greenville, South Carolina, Airbnb. So first of all, what I would do if I was researching a new market, or even just looking, or even if I had the market already, these are kind of the things I would use. So Airbnb, let's see, rates by area. Now, there are more expensive tools to do this. Like AirDNA right here, check that out. It is a very expensive tool, and it will tell you kind of what the going price is. But I will say it's about $800 a year, so that's insane. My property manager made me buy it, and I was like, that's stupid, and I was right. That is stupid, but she's not stupid, but that was stupid. You can go to like other things like all the rooms and these things, and it will show you. So if you just put in, let's just put in Greenville, South Carolina. Now, pro tip on just buying Airbnbs in general, what I always try to do is try to get a multi-family, because it just exponentially increases your income. It's kind of insane how much it does that. And when you do have like a vacancy, or some sort of issue with the city, then you have more options to pivot. So here's a good example. So I was I bought a place, and when I did, it was a legal to Airbnb there, right? And so I did it for 2 years, and then Airbnb, let's just say estimated rates. So I did it for 2 years, and then I get a $1,000 potential fine summons into my mailbox one day, and I was like, "What is that about?" Turns out the city council had met, unbeknownst to me. I didn't even get to go and protest or anything. Had met, and they just randomly banned short-term rentals. Now, that would have been potentially devastating had I had like a single family house and wasn't able to pivot, or had to get long-term tenants or whatever. But since it was a quadplex, we had a lot of different potential revenue streams with it. So it just gives you an ability to pivot. I know it's really easier said than done to find a multifamily in this day and age, but it is, if you can do it, I would just look to be open. So let's just do an address. What's a good address? And hold up, wait a second, I'll grab one. Okay, so we'll just go here, and I just typed in multifamily homes for sale, and we'll just use this address as an example, and this would be in Greenville, South Carolina. Now, there's a lot of ways to look at even just finding a potential market. We'll get into that a little later. This is mostly about crafting your specific. Why won't nothing work? This is about crafting your specific listing and what to do, and kind of what not to do on here. So the free tools are great. I mean, you can just put in your email. I'll put in my email address. Also, feel free to email me if you're looking for a property manager. You can have mine. She already has access to AirDNA, so you won't be having to purchase that. Wait a second. Let me log in here. Okay, so here we go. We get this free tool for an hour. Now, this is just what I like to use as just like a basic overview. The best way to do it is actually just to go to Airbnb and do a faux listing. Now, I know a lot of people will be like, well, that's scammy or cheating or whatever, but it actually is a great way to test the market, and you don't even have to keep it up for long, just 24 hours, and then once you get some inquiries, you don't even have to accept them or whatever. So it does waste a couple people's time, but it saves you tons of money, and it allows you to see the demand immediately. So let's just see right here. It looks like we have an average daily rate of about $143. That's earned by a host per night booked. Okay, that's great. And we can see it's fluctuating a little bit. Doesn't look like too much of a cyclical market, but it also gives you in the 90th percentile. So if you're up there, if you're ranking high on the pages, then you will have a better conversion rate. Now, okay, so this is also a little pro tip. If you're starting out and want to do it yourself, fine, cool. It's a lot of work. I recommend if you can afford it to get a property manager, but I understand a lot of people can't afford it. But if you also are starting out, you're not going to have the SEO juice from the reviews from Superhost status or whatever. It behooves you sometimes to get a property manager that is a Superhost and has Superhost status, and that way you get to piggyback off their SEO juice. Chef's kiss. It's a wonderful, wonderful idea. Competition tracker. We can go and see the different people in your area. Now, this is really, really great. I go to entire place when I do this kind of research, and you can kind of come up and see what the other similar entire places are for yours, and you can see the occupancy rate. So as we can see right here, I prefer to have a higher occupancy rate than not, which usually means to lower the prices sometimes. But you can see right here that this one has a 73% occupancy rate. It's a 1-bedroom luxury condo, 5-star reviews, and you can see right here it's a 5% occupancy rate because they put $1,000, of course, so that's way over the market. 88 occupancy rate for 866 daily, and then we have 125. So for me, this is not a very heavily competitioned market. It probably means that there is, for me, I would think, an opportunity to come in. But let's go and let me show you how we would do this research. So we would go to, we type in Greenville, South Carolina, Airbnb. You would think Airbnb would come up, wouldn't you? And it says cabins. We don't really have to do cabins, obviously. So let's just do a check-in date of, let's put it in the future because we don't want it skewed because there won't be a lot of people. There won't be a lot of availability in June, right? Like if we're looking, you don't want to put in that you're going to, when you're doing this research, put in a farther date back because it's much less likely that they have bookings a couple months back, and it gives you a fuller picture of the listings in the potential market. So we go right here. Let me shrink this down. Now this is immediately what I wouldn't want to see is this cool ass place right here, because uniqueness drives views and clicks on Airbnb, and this is literally amazing. So this is a 10 out of 10 house to have for Airbnb. It's almost like a perfect Airbnb. I'm surprised that this wouldn't be on some sort of magazine or something like that. So this is great. So if I knew that this was here, that would be an intimidating prospect for me. But you can go down, you can go back here and look at their calendar. So if you go and see, look, okay, June, all done. July, there's like 4 things open. August, 4 things open. September, there's some things open. $276 a night with 5 stars reviews. I mean, this is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let me think. Yeah, Little Oasis, Cozy Treehouse. I mean, this is literally best. So let's just say that we would want to price under this 276. I mean, we'd want to price, honestly, I'm thinking 120 for something right now. We have a condo in the heart of Greenville. This is a missed opportunity on here, I think, to because the first couple pictures are of the exterior. The fact that you have bikes is not needed in the first couple pictures. This, whatever the hell that is not needed. I would go directly from this. I love that. Showing where you are in the city, show that you're walkable. That's great. That tells a lot of the story. To this. Also, what I would do here is professional pictures. This is, I think, unexcusable not to spend $75 to $100 to not get a professional photographer in there. And also Airbnb has a spot, and I'm not sure if they're still doing this, where you can request them come and take pictures and verify your listing, which is really gives you some SEO juice. But this would really bode well for me because I would think, okay, 206 reviews, 4.9. It's a great place, but I would say that it has an opportunity to list better and to list nicer based off the pictures alone. We haven't even gotten to the description, so let's see how busy it is. And honestly, I shouldn't have put in 9 nights, but okay, so we can see right here, June is done. July, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, those will probably be filled up by the time July comes around. August. So definitely not as popular as the treehouse. But I would think that this is something that we could compete with. I'd want to come in lower. So now I'm thinking maybe 120, 119, 118 for what I would charge. Now, of course, this is all dependent on where you are in the geography. I'm just assuming that our place is pretty much in that kind of downtown area. And we can see right here, if we go and filter out, we'd want to filter for entire spaces. So, oh, and pets too. Geez, if you do allow pets, it's going to be a bigger deal in a good way, because a lot of people travel with their pets, and a lot of people use Airbnbs to travel with their pets. And we have a no pet policy because we don't want the allergens to be present for the next guest or for the other guest. So we can see just a general cursory glance right here. The professional photography is just rare to find here in this market. Now, this one looks great, and the photography is great on this one. And so it looks like we have a lot of single family homes. So I think a great way to differentiate oneself would be if you had a duplex here. I also love in the title to put how, if you have a geographic thing that's really special in your town, a dock, a pier, a museum or whatever, to put how, or beach, yeah, that's a good one, to put how far away it is on the title is also a really, really good practice to do, right? So I love this one, only 1 mile from downtown. That looks really good. Amazing villa in Greenville. I mean, yeah, that's okay. As we can see right here, they start off well with the exterior of the house. It looks very clean. The photography is very good, and they have very great decorating. I love a fiddle leaf fig. I have one I'm staring at right now. It's almost touching me. I think this is great. It's very bare bones, and actually works pretty well on Airbnb, because people want to have that kind of bare bones feeling from what I've seen, because it kind of just makes them feel like the space is theirs and allows them to have a little bit more of a hotel experience. I would put some art right there just to spruce it up a little bit, but that's just really being stupid nitpicky. But other than that, this looks great. And we can go and we can see their calendar. We can see how great they're doing. So they're slashed it to 114 a night, and maybe they just have smart pricing on. So we don't have to follow the pricing too much, but we can see it with the demand. So if we checked in right here, they would be asking 116. Okay, and so we can see here that the calendar is pretty full for June, always full for June, and about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 66 for July, and a lot open for August. So I'm thinking that you're going to get, as a new listing, I keep on dropping one. I would go to 105 at this point for me. And if I listed without a superhost status, I would do 105. I would just explode onto the scene with that, maybe even 99, and start to rack it up. Let's look at this. If we did $99 and we got a 75% rate of occupancy, which it looks like it's probably going to be about 75% if you are a new listing. So that's 22, and then you times that by 99. Looks like you can get about $2,200 in here without cleaning fees. Now that's another way to make some good money if you're going to clean it yourself. And honestly, if you're like a person that has time and is just trying to make as much money as possible, then that would be what I would do too. Because with each of those, if you had, let's say you had guests that stay about 3 days and you have it booked up about 22 days, I should be able to do this in my head. Then I'll give you about 7 guests, and let's say you charge $100. So that's an extra $700. And that is a really great, really great way to make extra money on top of your stuff. I know with my Airbnb personally, I do about $3,000 in cleaning fees just off the quadplex. So crazy how much they stack up and how fast they stack up. But this one looks really good. This one looks really good too. I like the lights. Those lights always really work well. I wonder if this is professional photography. I don't think this is. It would behoove them to get professional photography because this is not a good shot. That's not a great shot. And you'd be able to frame and get more into the picture if they used a certain lens. So that's always good. I also wouldn't have spent time doing 3 of these living room pictures. I would hit the living room first, the kitchen second, which is kind of the flow, but once again, the photography is not right because the angles are not right here. And that's really a shame because it's a really cute place and it looks like they put a lot of money into this place, and it's a shame that it is not represented in the photography because it looks really good. So definitely have some good competition going on in Greenville. The Scandinavian Home, 7 minutes from downtown Greenville. I would probably not name it anything. I would probably just put 8 minutes from downtown Greenville or whatever. Always think about copywriting principles, and one of the main copywriting principles is like, what's in it for them? Why do people care? And you can see that July is really not booked through at all. I think they're pretty high with their price, and it looks like it looks like June definitely got some action, but it looks like they'll probably have to lower it because the market is not biting at what they're selling. So if we take away anything from this, I think it's that new houses would be able to make $105, $99 a night, I would think. Looks like proximity to the town is very important. So if you had an opportunity to buy, it looks like buying in the town would be your best bet, or the closest to the town would be the best bet. Also, what I would do personally is I would get a Superhost to take on my listing. To take on my listing, and then from there, I'd be able to get that SEO juice. Even though some of the stays that pop up as number 1 aren't Superhost, so you might be able to get away with it without it, just because it's a smaller market with less competition. And another third thing to take away: if you get a unique stay or have something unique that you can do, then I would definitely do it. I would assume cabins and stuff like that, since this is kind of a woody area, if you will, probably do really well as well. As you can see right here, we have this one. This is just beautiful, absolutely. And this is $245 a night. Let's just check this out. So just remember your geography, and if you're seeing mountains, cabins that do well or whatever, just go and you can just double down on that and check how they're doing. So September, but we have the July. All right, so cabins in July, I guess. I guess is really not the vibe, but that's another thing. This is seasonal, but this one, man, they just really crushed it. Let's look at their description, and then we'll cut it because I just want to see and show you how I do some description. So, situated at the back of a wooded 2-acre lot, only 10 minutes from downtown Greenville. This is the oasis in the city. Love. You describe the property. You describe the closeness to whatever popular proximity it is. While most tree houses take you on a roughing it adventure, Cozy Tree House, number 1, that's a great name too, Cozy Tree House, because it tells the user that, okay, this is cozy. This is not a roughing it thing. This is a cozy vibe, and I think that's so smart to do, and they know what they're doing for sure. Is the glamping version of tree houses, boasting 9-foot ceilings, 1.5 baths, 3 LED TVs, and many outdoor living options. You're looking for a unique getaway just minutes away from one of the top growing cities in the South. Cozy Treehouse, perfect destination for you. Love it. There's a kitchenette, no stovetop or large oven, but all other kitchen appliances, including microwave, convection oven, and coffee maker. So important to put in there because you get a ton of questions about kitchens. Tons. A main living room on the main level, flanked by a stunning 20-foot high A-frame window wall, strategically placed for total views of the surrounding woods. The central space reading, relaxing. Additionally, the space is one of a kind, take your breath away. Love it. Upstairs, finally, when you arrive there and you get to see, and she's talking about the TVs and outdoor shower and any kind of unique things they have. So follow the gravel path down the hill. Limited parking, and parking is so important to put in there no matter what you're doing. Very important. Other things to note, you just put your boundaries right there, right? You may request if children are allowed to stay. The treehouse does have features that can be dangerous to children, depending upon age, require constant adult supervision, assumes no responsibility over the safety of the children. So very, very cool. This is a great one. Only 17 reviews though, so came in early. You would have, I would think this is still competitive though, if you can get something like this. But the fact that this is such a stellar thing and it only has 17 reviews might mean that the demand is just not there, or it can mean that they're new. So I would go to their profile too and see, okay, are they new or are they not new? So we can go right here, and they joined in March 2018, and there's probably a way to look at the listing. So they have two. They have two cozy cabins, and they joined in 2018. So really cool. They have a great picture on there, very Americana, and they have a good response rate. So you're dealing with a pro on this one, but it doesn't mean that you can't swoop in and get a different vibe. You can get a condo vibe, you can get a single family house vibe, or a duplex vibe, and maybe undercut everyone on price. So kind of a little bit of a rambling thing, but I just wanted to show you what I look at and how I would assess the market and the competitive landscapes. If you're looking for my property manager or management advice, or if you want someone just to look over your listing, I would definitely encourage you to reach out. I put my email in the description, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.